Good morning. I feel like I need to change my good morning. It sounds so cheesy. Good morning. No, good morning. Morning. Don't know how to say it. If you're catching the replay, hashtag replay. We're going to wait a few minutes because it takes a minute for everyone to get on. Good morning. That sounded better. I've been trying to practice on my good mornings because they sound cheesy. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I don't know how to say it. Morning. What up? What up back at I don't know how to say it. I don't when I go back and watch myself, I cringe. I'm like, "Judy, your voice sounds so country." How are y'all this morning? Y'all doing okay? It is Monday, but we got this, right? We got this. Oh, it's a little tight. I'm just watching y'all's comments for a minute. Give me a second. Because I go blind when I take my glasses off, and I like to know who's here. Hey, Marcia, I can't. Marcia Boss Hathaway is the photographer that is taking pictures of Skipper for me to send out to people, and she took the cutest picture yesterday. Oh my god! So she is going to edit them and send them to me, and I'm going to try to decide. I'm going to get Kayla's input and try to decide which picture I'm going to have printed. So shout out to Marcia for being so supportive of my farm. If you are local, she is a photographer and she is fantastic and has a positive attitude and is a backup dancer. So we need to support her. So if you're looking for a photographer, she's your girl. Y'all go grab your protein drinks. I was letting my curling iron. Okay. I don't even know where to begin. Let's see. Let's start with Friday. Let's start with 2 weeks before Friday. I'm taking my glasses off. If you're joining me for the first time, I go blind when I take my glasses off. I have amblyopia, which is considered a lazy eye. I was born with it, and my eyes don't know how to function together. So, I only see out of one eye, but when I cover this eye, I can see colors and stuff like that. But my eyes do not function together. So I am blind. So glasses are coming off. So much has changed on my social media in the past 2 weeks that I'm having a really hard time keeping up. Basically, I've had a couple of videos go viral in the past 2 weeks with Dee, and my page has grown. My YouTube page and my Facebook page has grown a lot because of Dee. And as it grows, it's exciting. It's also stressful. I have all these different emotions going on inside me because it's exciting because thinking about my journey and not even wanting a chicken to having Sneed's farmhouse to growing social media, and it's when I started my social media, I never thought first of all, when I started my social media, I didn't even know you can make money on social media. Okay? I am fixing to be 53 on Saturday. And, it's hard for people our age to understand social media. I mean, when I got Facebook, we all just got Facebook, and that's just what we did. We did Facebook. And then Jason and Brooke introduced me to YouTube, and they were like, Judy, you need to do YouTube. And I just never thought, like, it never even phased my mind that 56,000 people would be following me on Facebook and 22,000 would be following me on YouTube. It never entered my mind. Um, Things have changed fast, and I am constantly looking for what I'm supposed to be learning. Um, because I feel so blessed that you guys would even care enough about my farm to even follow me. And so, like, it feels it's like all these emotions are going through my head. Like, I'm excited, but also with growth comes disaster. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like because what happens is when things go viral, I tell you this and you know this, but people don't know who I am. And they begin to judge me, but people don't take the time to know who I am. And that's okay, because I do the same thing sometimes. So, um last week was very emotional. Like, I was all over the place. I was so excited that my page was growing. I was freaking depressed because people were beating me up. I was excited over Dee Dee fixing to give birth, but I was depressed because everyone was like giving me their opinion. And it was just like my brain was like all over the place. And I had to Friday, or was it Thursday, when that field trip came and all the excitement came. If you haven't seen my video, you should go see it on YouTube. When all that happened, I had to think quickly. I didn't have time to go break things down. And I talked to you guys about that on Friday. When you don't have time to break something down and you have to think quickly. When you have to think quickly, is the moment you have to have that pocket filled with tools, because you have to pull the tool out quickly to be able to process what's going on. Because I didn't have time to go, hey, dude, could you wait just a minute while I go over here and try to break this down? Because I can't figure out what's going on and I don't know what to do, because I have all these kids and parents in front of me that are wondering why this is happening and I don't know what to do. And I feel overwhelmed, and my heart and my adrenaline's going, and I don't know what's fixing to happen. I had to think fast. And the first thing I thought of was not myself. I thought of those children. And I thought, what is best for those children? And Kayla and I just sat there and looked at each other and like, what are we going to do? And I thought, I'm using this as a learning lesson. That's what I'm going to do, because I have to be honest what's happening, because, you know, I have these people here on my farm and these kids are looking and going, what is going on? Parents are filming, and I'm like, I've got to figure out how to use this to good, because this is terrible, but I have to use this disaster as something good. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, because I'm not going to just say, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to go to YouTube, subscribe to my page, and go look at the last video. And I was so thankful. I was so thankful that I had put tools in my pocket over. Now listen, these tools that are in my pocket, I've been putting tools in my pocket since 2010. That's how long I've been going to counseling to try to figure out myself and try to be the best version of Judy. This has not been a quick process. This is something that's taken time. So, since 2010, I have been learning how to calm myself, how to react, how to break things down, trying to figure out why I react the way I do, what my triggers are, how to overcome my triggers, how all those things. Those are tools I'm putting in my pocket. So when I am faced with something and I have to think quickly and I don't have time, like breaking down tool is not the tool that I bring out of my pocket. The first tool that I bring out of my pocket when I'm in chaos is pause. So me and Kayla are just standing there staring at each other like, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna, what are we gonna what are we gonna do? And the first thing we thought of is what is best for these children. It's not what's best for me. It's not what's best for Kayla. It's what's best for these kids. And the first thing that came to my mind was I've got to teach these kids because fifth graders, like my grandson, when you say to my grandson, what do you want to do for a living? He says, be a YouTuber. And he said that before I became a YouTuber. Kids in fifth grade are dying to become a YouTuber. So I thought, hey, these little jokers are fixing to figure out what happens when you become a YouTuber or on social media. And it's also a lot of times parents will say to me, my child wants to be a YouTuber. Do you recommend it? I'm going to tell you right now, I do not recommend, now that I'm where I am today, no. If you have a child that wants to be a YouTuber, the answer is absolutely no. No, because I do not think a child could handle all that I went through this past week. I don't think they're mature enough. I do not. That is just my opinion. You are the parent, you make the choices. But in my opinion, there's no way that I would put a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old on Facebook or YouTube because they're going to get the crap beat out of them. They're going to be told they're ugly, they're stupid, all those things. And I do not believe a kid has the mental capacity to put tools in their pocket to pull them out when they get told they're a POS. I do not believe it. So for the parents that ask me about kids being YouTubers, the answer is now. If you asked me probably 6 months ago, I may have told you something totally different. But today, no, no. And I will tell you that if you're an adult and you want to become a YouTuber or you want to become on Facebook and you want to get all the things that come behind social media, I suggest going to counseling. I suggest you're going to have to go to counseling as you grow because you're going to feel like giving up. You're going to feel like it is awful. It is everything that goes through social media. You're going to have to be a rock. You can't be a little strong. You can't be a people pleaser. You have to be strong. You have to put on the armor of God every single day. Because I'm telling you, when people watch you, they're looking at what's in the background. They're saying, "Oh, Judy is a train wreck. Her bed is not made. She is a Fruit Loop because she's getting ready in the morning. Did you see her? Her hair is a cheese ball. Her makeup is a train wreck. Like it is like that. And if you are not, you are going to have to go to counseling to make it through social media because I'm in counseling. And I like once a week, I'm going, I can't do this. I can't do this. This is awful. It is absolutely awful. And uh the meet and greet this weekend, I was like, the meet and greet, this is from my point of view. You know, Jason and Brooke have a big following. none of the other channels have a big following. Not really, not compared to Jason and Brooke. I mean, we're getting there slowly, but we are the afterthought at Petals. No, like very few people, like I can count on one hand how many people actually came to see me. Everyone walked straight. It's the funniest thing. Everyone walked straight to Jason and Brooke, and Jason and Brooke had this long line, and the rest of the YouTubers are sitting there with their finger up their nose. But the reason I feel like that I go is not to have this long line of followers that think I'm a rock star, because that's not happening. I go because I can network with these other channels, and they help me, because when I get beat up, I can text. I feel like Nick and Zoe are my BFFs with social media. They that's Chestnut Hills Farm. If you could put Kayla, if you put their link in the, most of y'all know who they are, but I have a lot of new followers that don't know who Chestnut Hills Farm is. So if Kayla, if you could put their link out here. Zoe and Nick are so down to earth, and they have time to talk to me. Where the bigger channels don't have time to nurture me when I'm struggling. They don't have time. But Nick and Zoe, I can go, y'all, I'm getting the crap beat out of me. And they're like, oh, yeah, me too. Me too. And I'm like, I just need to cry. Or even Nico from Our Brown, Chestnut Hills Farms here. Our Brown Farmhouse. I can call Nico and go, I need a pep talk. He's like, what's wrong, Judy? I'm like, I don't know. I feel like no one watches my content. I just get nothing but negative comments. And like a lot of these bigger channels don't have time to kind of nurture these little channels like myself. And so when we go to Petals, it's an opportunity for us to network and go, I'm struggling, and when you have a channel, it's important to lean on other channels that get you, because Nick and Zoe at Chestnut Hills Farmstead are going through growing pains themselves. Their channel has grown pretty fast too. And it's like when something goes viral, like they had a short go viral and they have like 3 million views. And then you got 3 million people telling you their opinion about your short. And as people pleasers, it drives you crazy. It drives you crazy. So this weekend was so nice to get with other channels. I didn't really know G&G Farm very well, Catherine. I didn't really know them that well. Oh my gosh. Her and her husband are so friendly. It's not even funny. I mean, it was just wonderful. So it was a great time to network. It was a great time to be with other channels, to just love on each other. And every single channel there is so sweet, and they know what we're going through because they go through it too. And it was just a wonderful time. For the people that did come and see me, thank you. That was really sweet. It makes you feel, when someone comes to see you, it's almost emotional. Like you're going to see me? You brought me a birthday gift? Are you serious? Like sometimes as creators, when we see people in public and they know who we are, it feels like you feel so honored. It's just like kind of hard for you to believe that someone cares about you that much. And it was wonderful. So thank you so much for the people that came out to Petals to see us. And thank you to all the channels that came. It's so wonderful to be supported by y'all. And I feel like I just love y'all. So thank you. Okay. Now let's go forward to was that not awesome that I got the whole entire birth like up close on camera? Can I tell y'all that I was sweating bullets, scared that my camera was going or my phone was going to die? I was like, all these people are fixing to be so mad at me that they have followed Dee Dee's journey, and then my phone is going to go dead. And people were like, Jody, why didn't you get a backup camera? Why didn't you have towels? Why? Okay, first of all, let me say this. Towels. Shane did say go get a towel, but y'all, mama does that. The next day when I took a picture of Skipper, people were like, did you give her a bath? And I'm like, her mama did. Animals know what to do. You don't, I mean, I know Shane said go get towels, but we didn't need to go get towels, y'all. It's not something that, like, mama takes care of it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Dee Dee cleaned her up. Dee Dee actually cleaned her up, and that's why she is so white, is because her mama takes good care of her. But I when I was sitting there filming, I was like, I was just having anxiety so bad because I was so afraid my phone was going to die. And although you try to plan, you know, you're like, okay, let me make sure I keep my phone charged. She goes into labor when you least expect it. You know what I mean? Like you can sit here and charge your phone and then she never goes into labor. And the second you have a little bit of she goes into labor and you're in panic mode. And I've been sitting here preparing for the past month, and she started going into labor when I least expected. So it was definitely fantastic that I was able to get it all on camera. But let's talk about the whole marriage thing. Okay. Y'all, I beat Shane up so bad. Okay. As kids, now right now, I can't say that I speak for men, but you know how we grow up as women playing with Barbies and Ken dolls. Men don't necessarily play with Ken dolls, but like little girls grow up playing with Barbies, and they have a perfect figure, they have the perfect boobs, they have long beautiful hair, you know, it's like a Barbie is like this fake woman. Like, women don't look like that all the time, you know? And we grow up like men grow up thinking women look like that. In my opinion, this is just my opinion. You do not have to agree with me. Okay. I'm just telling you my opinion. But as women, as little girls, we grow up watching Cinderella, you know, and Prince Charming comes and puts the beautiful slipper on Cinderella and it fits perfectly. This knight in shining armor, Romeo and Juliet. I mean, how sweet is that? Romeo's outside her window and he loves her and he scoops her away. And, you know, like we watch all these things as kids. So, like, our reality of a marriage is totally jacked up from the time we are little bitty because we as women picture being in this beautiful sparkly white dress and we got our hair up and it's rolled and we're absolutely beautiful and all the eyes are on us, and the men, you know, picture this beautiful woman and she's in this beautiful dress and the man is big and strong and handsome. That's what we grow up watching as kids. I feel like it's so jacked up. I mean, you know, it's like it's not reality of a marriage. And I don't think men do it as worse than women. Like men, I feel like are more in reality than a woman. Like men get it. I think, but I do believe I have to think about this, but I do believe that men are not in reality, especially like teenage boys and stuff. When it comes to, you know, how like if you're in high school and you're a girl and you're a little overweight, boys don't like you, boys don't want to date you, they call you fat and all that stupid stuff. You know, like I feel like just from a young age, reality is not reality. Like that's not how it works. But sometimes me, as at 53 years old, I still think like this little girl watching Cinderella. Like Shane is supposed to be Prince Charming and come, like swoop me off my feet. And I was sitting there when I was live. Let me say this too. Many channels that you follow, there's Nick and Zoe, there's Jason and Brooke, there's Lester and Jamie. There's like two people. Like they both do social media. So like Nick is filming, Zoe's filming, Lester's filming, Jamie's filming, Brooke films, Jason films, Zach films, Jacqueline films. But in Judy's life, it is not like that. Shane is not about social media. Okay? He's not. And so a lot of times when it comes to social media, he works against me instead of with me, in my opinion, because I was sitting there filming, right? And as I was filming the birth, he's texting me, telling me, because what happened was Chris and Julie, which Chris is my moderator, Julie's his wife, they were at my farm visiting when Dee Dee went into labor. Well, in Shane's eyes, I was rude as crap for sitting there filming for 2 hours when I had guests at my house. So in Shane's eyes, he was like, text me going, "You are being so rude, Judy." And I was like, "No, I'm not." And I couldn't text him back because I was live. And so in Shane's eyes, he could not believe that I was sitting there filming live with guests here. And I was like, Chris and Julie are followers of mine. They're like, "Get this crap on film, Judy." These backup dancers want to watch this birth. I know Chris and Julie so well that I knew they were not mad at me for filming and leaving them out. And Shane was going, because he is not in social media. It would be like if if Cinco had her first baby and Zoe was out there filming and me and Shane were at their farm, Nick would not be texting Zoe saying, "You're being rude. Judy and Shane are here." He would be like, "Get good filming. Hang on, let me go get you a backup battery." You know what I'm saying? Because Nick and Zoe both are YouTubers. They film. They share that responsibility. Shane does not. So I'm sitting there trying to film, and Shane is making me so mad. Okay. He is not being Romeo to Juliet. Okay. He was a train wreck to me. I was like, you are going against me. I need you. Like I was thinking in my mind, I need you to trust me. I need you to trust me when it comes to social media. But often Shane is like, "Put your phone down, quit filming, quit doing this," because he does not understand what is happening because he does not follow me. He doesn't know who his Aunt Judy is. He knows his wife Judy, and I'm on the phone all the time filming, and it drives him crazy. So like I feel like sometimes he's working against me because he doesn't understand my job. He and often other people that are not on social media, my stepmother, she's made comments to me like, "You're always on the phone. You're always on the phone." As if social media is not a job. Like, I don't get the free pass as in Judy's trying to grow her social media. Or Judy has friends, like some of my best friends are on social media. And when something happens on my farm, I think of you. I'm like, I need to get this on film. I got to show Jane. Oh my gosh, when Becky sees this, she's going to die. Like I don't think of myself. And I'm not filming to make a living per se. I film because I feel like my backup dancers are my best friends, and I don't want to leave you out. I want to I want you to see when I go on a field trip and go into a school, it's important for me to show you what is happening with my animals or what is happening with these children when they see my animals. I want to film this for you. I'm not filming, you know what I'm saying? But it's hard for someone that um sees me with my phone in my hand all the time. It's as if all I do I've had this said to me, all you do is go around and take pictures of you and your animals. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm just a total train wreck. All I do all day long is just carry my camera around. Oh Lord, now that I got this fancy new camera, Shane's like, oh God, she's gonna have this this camera in her hand all the time. And it's as if that's when someone doesn't follow me, and I guess you just see me with my camera filming all the time, it's as if I I you know, I sit around and do nothing but take pictures. That's all I do all day long. I'm a train wreck. I'm a total train wreck. That's all I do. But when I was filming and Shane was saying, "You are so rude," it was one of those situations where I wasn't breaking it down because I was in the moment, and I was like, I was literally feeling, okay, this is how I am. They call this dialect in counseling. It's where you're one extreme or the other with your thought process. So I can absolutely think Shane is the complete rock star, and I can absolutely feel like I hate his guts within minutes. It's dysregulation. Okay, that's what it's called. It's called dysregulation, and it's where your thoughts are all over the place and you can't regulate your thoughts. Like you can't say, okay, Judy, you don't hate him, but he's not being the best husband right now. He's somewhere in the middle. Okay, I go from, if he sends me one more text, I am going to scream at the top of my lungs. Like I'm dysregulated. Like my emotions are not right because I go, and I don't know if you women or men do this with your spouse, but there's moments I feel hate in my heart. Like I'm so mad because when I was sitting there filming, right, y'all did not hear this because Kayla told me that y'all did not hear this on camera. You only heard me say. But right at the end where Shane came out there to help, and right before he began to pull the calf, he told me to hang up my phone. He looked at me and he goes, hang up the phone. And I was feeling hate in my heart. I was like, Joker, let me tell you something. You don't even know what you're talking about. If I hang up the phone and Dee Dee is about to give birth, these jokers on my social media are going to hate my guts. And he's like, I don't care. Hang up the phone. I literally felt like laying in the floor and crying because I realized that he really doesn't know my job. But let me flip it. Let's talk about his job. Okay? Let's talk about his job. He works 2 jobs. He works for the state of Alabama and he has his own business. Okay? In welding, this is his second job. The only time a plant, like for example, Tyson, when Tyson needs to repair something and they have to shut down the whole plant to repair a couple of coals and they call Shane in to repair, it's during holidays. Okay? That is the only time that he can go and repair because they're a huge corporation and they're in operating hours other than, let's just say, Christmas or Easter. So this flips and it'll show you what I'm talking about. So when we first got married and this started happening, I didn't understand. I didn't understand his job. I was like, this joker is never home for any holidays. Like, I hate holidays. I already hated holidays because my parents are passed away. But like now I'm spending holidays by myself because my husband is at work. When we got married on June 18th. We did not go on a honeymoon. The next day, Shane left for Florida for the entire summer. He had this big project that he had to do in Freeport, Florida. I think it was Freeport, Florida. And I spent the entire summer as a newlywed wife by myself. That was hard for me to understand. I was like, stop. Like, it's that Christmas, Shane. Like, why aren't you here? Like, you know what I mean? And then, like, what'll happen is, like, we'll plan something. We'll plan, like, to go to his mother's for the whole family, let's just say. And the whole time we've had this plan, the whole entire time. And then at the last minute, they call and say Shane has to work. And then Judy has to go to his family function by herself. And then Shane's mother's upset because he's put work first over her or over his family. And I got my feelings hurt because he's put work over the family. And it's hard for us to understand his job. It's hard for Shane to understand my job. It's hard for me to understand Shane's job. Okay. How do we fix this? No matter how many times I try to explain to Shane that when the phone is in my hand, I'm at work. When I'm on my computer editing videos, I'm at work. I'm trying to figure out how to pay for vet bills. I'm trying to figure out how to pay for a hay barn. I'm trying to figure out how to get 50 acres to move my animals to pasture land. I am busting my tail trying to figure out how to make ends meet. Shane is busting his tail to figure out how to help me build a hay barn, which means he has to go to a second job because that's what it takes to run a farm is having 2 jobs. And he's trying to do the same thing. He's trying to figure out how to get his family ahead of the ball game. And I don't understand his job. I'm like, dude, why aren't you home? Like, what the heck? So you see how difficult it is? But when I was in the moment and he was like, because I'm trying to when I'm on live and Dee Dee's giving birth and we're in the last 5 minutes of her pushing and he tells me to get off the phone, I'm like, I feel hate in my heart. I feel so I was so mad at him. I was so mad at him going, Joker, you have no clue what you're talking about. And when that happens, I felt in between my husband and my backup dancers. And I'm in the middle going like this. Husband's telling me get off the phone. Backup dancers are fixing to be so mad that they don't get to see this delivery. And I felt so in the middle. And I felt like, what do I do? And I looked at him. I said, I can't remember how many. I'm like, I have 1,300 people watching this live birth, and you want me to get off the phone? I felt so much frustration that he doesn't take the time to get to know what I do for a living. He don't care. To him, he's like, this is like social media to him, because he is seeing all these people, even my children. Do you know how hard it is for my children to see all these people beat me up, call the police on me? Like, it is killing my kids. They're like, Mom, I don't like this. I want to chew every single person out. And Shane is the same way. He's like, I don't give a crap how much you're making. These jokers are mean to you. Get off social media, So like, for someone that is an outsider looking in at what I do, they don't like the way I'm being treated by these people. But see, the thing is, with emotional maturity is I can't make Shane understand my job. Shane can't make me understand his job. No matter, I've been with him for 9 years. I know how this welding works. And every single holiday, I'm bawling my eyes out because he's not here. Now, I don't do it in front of him, but it hurts my feelings. It hurts my feelings that we can't have Christmas dinner, or we can't have Easter, go to church and dress up and go to Easter because my husband's working. And even though I try to understand his job, it doesn't sink in my head. I get my feelings hurt. And Shane, no matter how much he tries to understand my job, he thinks it's the silliest thing in the whole wide world to be on social media. And I think it's the silliest thing in the whole wide world, because I'm like, this isn't your primary job. You can say no. You can say no and be home with me for Christmas. Or you can, it's silly to me. So when I was sitting there filming and he's telling me to get off the phone, I felt a lot of pressure, y'all. I felt a lot of pressure because I care what Shane thinks. I care. And you know how biblically it says the man's the head of the household? And I grew up knowing that, and I don't want to disrespect his, like, he was thinking in his, if we broke that down, we could, like, right off the bat, we're mad. You're mad, I'm mad, because we can say he is the most non-understanding husband. She's out there trying to film, and he's sitting there yelling at her. Like, we could go there. But see, we're not in the moment. we can step back, pause, and break it down and go, okay, what was Shane trying to say? Was he trying to be a terrible, non supportive husband? Or when we break it down, what was he trying to tell me? Okay. Shane saw, first of all, Dexter trying to breed Dee Dee. Dexter is a big old bull. I have the phone in my hand, right? And Shane is over there going, we got to get Dexter away from Dee Dee. And I'm sitting here trying, and he's like, go get food. And he's mad at me because he's like, put the phone down, go get food. There's an emergency, Judy. Put the phone down. And I'm over here going, I can't put the phone down. I've got 1,300 people that are watching this birth. I'll just carry them with me. So you can see that Shane was sensing an emergency. Shane loves me with all his heart. But Shane was sensing an emergency. There is a bull out here trying to breed a mama that's about to give birth, and Judy is holding the flipping phone. You see what I'm saying? That's where Shane was. Shane could have gotten really hurt by trying to separate Dexter, and then there's Judy out here filming it. So if I remove myself and go, Judy, remove yourself and go get into your husband's shoes for just a minute. And I'm able to break this down and go, what was Shane trying to tell me? Was Shane being a non-supportive husband by telling me to get off the phone? No. Shane was seeing a huge bull out there that could kill us, that could have killed Skipper by breeding Dee Dee. And then I'm over here on my cell phone, and I'm reading comments, and people are like, oh, my bull's with them all the time. It's no big deal. Get that bull away from the mom. No, don't worry, Judy. I have a cattle farm, and my bull is always with their moms. It's fine. And I'm reading all these controversy comments going, okay, because what happens is when you're in the moment and you're reading the comments, you listen to everybody that's commenting because you're in this moment going, what do I do? What do I do? Do I get the bull away? Well, if I get the bull away, I'm fixing to get killed. So like I'm over here trying to ground myself, and people are going back and forth in comments going, go get Dexter, get him away from her, go get feed. Judy is no big deal at all. I have had a cattle farm for 45 years. That bull is not going to hurt anybody. I had to immediately stop reading comments because at the end of the day, I have to go with my gut feeling. I am with these animals every day. And I have learned in farming, what's right for me is not right for the next person. Everybody knows their own animals. Just what's right for one farm is not right for another farm. So I had to stop what I was doing. I had to stop reading comments and go, I know my animals. And I saw Dexter trying to breed her, and I was like, this ain't good. Shane saw Dexter trying to breed her, and he was like, this ain't good. So Shane went and put his life on the line to get Dexter to the other side of the fence. And I'm over here holding the cell phone. That's what I was doing. And he was probably feeling hate into his heart because he was like, Judy's over there just holding the daggum phone while I'm over here trying to get Dexter to the other side of the fence. Can you see why he was going, get off the phone? You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Then the moment she started pushing and there was a foot coming out, Suddenly, it was like I was looking at Romeo. And Romeo was going, what did she say? Oh, no, she says, Romeo, Romeo, Romeo. How art thou, Romeo? And I'm looking at Shane with this calf and I'm going, Romeo, Romeo. All of a sudden, Shane is a rock star. So I go from like hating his guts to he's the best husband in the whole wide world. Oh my gosh. I have these animals because of him. He comes and he rescues these animals. You see how dysregulated I was? I was all over the map. Okay. I was all over the map. And in the moment, it's hard to break things down and get to where you need to be and get your emotions regulated because you're all over the map. Like you get what I'm saying? And when he was sitting there pulling the calf, I was like, I'm so in love with him. And I was like, I was thinking in my head, I am a total train wreck. If these backup dancers could get into my head right now to see how jacked up my head is, they would understand that I am not perfect and that I am so dysregulated. It's not even funny. I'm like, I literally can go from hating him to loving him in 0.2 seconds. And if y'all remember on the live video, I even said that. I said, Shane, I can go from loving you, from hating you to loving you in literally 1 minute. And after everything was over, I really stopped myself and I was like, because I didn't break that down immediately. I was in the moment. I was just trying to pull out survival tools out of my pocket to get me through the moment because I literally wanted to strangle him. When he was doing all that he was doing, like especially texting me, telling me I was rude, I was like, I ain't rude. It's Chris and Julie Pappin. Like they're followers of mine. They get it. I guarantee if I went to Chris and Julie and said, hey, am I being rude? They'd be like, no, get out there and film. Oh my gosh. You know what I'm saying? But for an outsider like Shane looking in, do you see how rude he thought I was? Because he does look rude. I sat there filming for 2 hours and these people drove from, I think, North Carolina, either North Carolina or South Carolina. I get confused. But these people drove hours to come visit me. And Judy is out there sitting and filming. How rude is that? I mean, that is so rude to Shane. But see, I don't think, I got to think how I want to say this. You know, I'm a big counseling person. I feel like everyone should have counseling. I feel like counseling should be in schools. I feel like everyone needs to go to counseling once a week. I do. It changed my life. So I am a big counseling guru. Okay. I personally feel like that. I feel like addiction and all the crime that's in our world comes from mental health. That's what I think. And I think if people learn to put tools in their pocket and learned how to break things down and people learn how to figure out what their triggers are, if people learn how to deal with trauma at a younger age, I feel like we wouldn't have as much crime and addiction in this world. That's me personally. But who am I? I'm just Aunt Judy. I'm not, I could go to Congress and try to change the law laws, but I don't think you'd get me anywhere. That's just me personally. And I think Shane has never had counseling, I don't think. Not that I know of. So, like, he don't understand tool like, when I start talking about tools in your pocket and breaking things down, he's looking at me like I have 4 horns on my head, okay? Because I'm talking therapy talk. And someone that doesn't have therapy doesn't quite understand what all this terminology meant. What is it? Dysregulation. That's a therapy word. What does that mean? Dialect. What is that? I mean, that's foreign words to people that don't have counseling. Okay, you backup dancers are starting to learn this terminology because it is important. But the thing is, at the end of the day, and your spouse doesn't know how to break things down, and you're like, why do I have to go to Aunt Judy's therapy Monday, Wednesday, and Friday to learn how to deal with your butt? You know, sometimes when you're like that, because I'm like, why can't he break it down to figure out what I was doing? Why do I have to be the mature one to break down his job and like sometimes when you're the person in counseling, you find yourself mad going, why am I the one that has to have therapy? He needs to have therapy, not me. I'm good. You know, I'm good. I figure all this out. So why do I have to be the mature one and figure all this out? You know what? At the end of the day, the reason you have to be the mature one is the only person you can control is yourself. So I like no matter how many times I sit him down and go, Shane, I am not holding my phone because I have nothing else to do and I am literally just out here snapping pictures because I have zero life. Like, no matter how many times I tell him that, I can only control the way I deal with the way he thinks of my social media. Does that make sense? I have to oftentimes break things down because when I feel frustration and hate in my heart, I know that's dysregulation because I do not hate Shane. Shane is one of the best things that has ever happened to me. I have to break what he does down because a lot of things that he does not make sense to me. I'm like, why does he do the things that he does? I have to go figure out when it comes to a spouse, in order to have a happy, healthy marriage, I think you know how I talk about you figuring out your own trauma and why you do, like, I'm not out of powder, but it's not coming out. Um, I think that you have to figure out your spouse's trauma and how you trigger it and how like the things that your spouse says to you that seem so freaking ugly, you're like, he is so ugly. He says the most god awful things to me or whatever you say. I think you have to figure out what is going on with your spouse in order to have a good marriage. You have to know everything like about their childhood. And usually when you've been married for a while, you know like what he was like growing up and what his house was like growing up and what his mom and dad were like or what was he popular in school or was he a nerd in school or what was he like in school, how people view him or her, you know what I'm saying? Like I think that in order like I could have when I was in dysregulation, feeling like I hate him for him telling me to put my phone down because he didn't respect me and understand that I have a job. I could have stayed with that. I could have totally stayed with, he drives me insane. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could have stayed there. But what we have to do is we have to take a step back. We have to pause and break down, what was Shane trying to say to me? That is, um, let me think of the word, emotional maturity. It is emotional maturity when you don't stay in hate and you're able to take a step back and break down, what was Shane trying, when Shane was screaming at me to get off the phone, what was he trying to say to me? That is you being emotional mature enough to stand back to see the big picture and that my husband is in love with me. Did did he say it in a kind way? "Judy, honey, you need to get off the phone because we're about to be under attack by a 1,800-pound bull. Our life is at risk, Judy. You need no, get off the phone." Because he was in panic mode because there is an 1,800-pound bull trying to breed our girl, and he was needing help, and I'm holding the cell phone. Emotional maturity is when I can step back and look at the big picture. And when I take a step back and look at the big picture is the moment I can see the love that Shane has for me. But when I'm caught up in the moment and I'm caught up into, like, I was wanting to pick up the phone and call Kayla and go, I hate his guts. That's what I was wanting to do because I was in dysregulation. I was literally feeling hate in my heart. And I wanted to call Kayla and go, I literally cannot stand him. And, and emotional maturity is when you can stop and go, Judy, when you go from hate to love in 0.2 seconds, the problem is not Shane. The problem is you. So many times as human beings, it is hard for us to see our faults because we think we're always right. We do. We think we're right all the time. And I'm telling you right now, when you feel hate in your heart and you go to outer space with people and you snap at people, and I don't care what they say to you. When you are out of control, you are not mature at all. You're not. You're not the best version of you. When you snap at people, if you don't snap, when someone's ugly to you and says ugly comments to you, a lot of you think, if I don't snap back, I'm not taking up for myself. That's what you think because that's kind of what you were taught. If someone hits you in the face, you better hit them back. You know what I'm saying? Like, we were kind of taught that as kids. Like, don't let people push you around. Don't, stand up for yourself. Don't be a pushover. I agree. Don't be a pushover. But sometimes not having to explain yourself and walking away is the best way to take up for yourself. Because you're like, I am not participating in this foolishness. Like, for example, what happened to me this past week. I could have ripped her a new one. Woo! I could have ripped that girl a new one. But what good would it have done? The main thing that I needed to do with someone that does something like that is I need to check my facts. I needed to call my lawyer and say, am I doing everything that I'm supposed to be doing, or am I unlawful? So I send all my paperwork to him, and he says, Judy, I can't find anything that you're doing wrong. I said, okay, I'm good. I go to my CPA and go, am I about to go to jail? Am I doing my taxes wrong? Am I doing anything wrong? Like, I sit him down and go, make sure there is nothing that I'm doing wrong. Do I need to change anything about myself, the way I'm doing my taxes, the way I'm doing my books? Look at everything. Judy, I cannot find anything that you're doing wrong. Then they come here and check all my animals, and they're like, Judy, I cannot find anything that you're doing wrong. I'm like, you know what? I don't need to say anything. I'm confident in who I am. I don't need to fight. Actually, when I break that down, let's break it down. Let's break it down. When I go look, when someone attacks me, that's really, really bad. What do we do? We go look at their profile, right? We're like, who's this jackleg? Y'all gonna start using that word? I don't know what a jackleg is, but I just call people jacklegs, jokers and jacklegs. That's what I call people. When someone attacks you, instead of fighting back, you pause and you go, is what they're saying correct? They may be right. You know what I'm saying? But you got to go check your facts. And when you check your facts and you go to their profile and you're like, you see a picture of them, you're like, oh, they're such a jackleg. You know what I'm saying? You know how we do. When someone attacks us, we go to their profile and they're like, this joker is so immature. She's young, whatever we say. You know what I mean? Like it's like if you know what we do? We go look them up. That's what we do. And then we're like, really? Really? So I realized that, there are, like, let's just say, an animal activist. Okay. Well, when I'm out here posting these crazy pictures of my cow she looks deformed. She looks deformed. I mean, come on. Dee Dee looked deformed. And there's somebody that's an animal activist, okay? It looks like I am a train wreck. I'm ignoring the health of my animals. And then when rumors get started and everyone thinks that she's having a two-headed calf and I'm not terminating the pregnancy and I don't have videos of my vet here. Well, if I don't have videos of my vet here, what does social media say? She ain't seeing a vet. You know, if I don't have a video, well, then I'm not, because everything on social media is correct. I have no vet. I would love to let her come see my vet bill. I think I spent, no, that was in feed. Most of the time my vet comes here, it's at least $500 or $600 every time my vet comes here. So when people say that I don't have a vet and my animals are not getting vet care, I'm like, I check my facts and I go, Judy, do you have a vet? Yes, as a matter of fact, I have 3. Okay, Judy, has Dee Dee been checked? Yes. Just because I don't know a video, because a lot of times the vet, my farriers, they don't want to be videoed. And the reason is because here comes the negative comments. She's not, she was too rough when she flipped that pig over. She's going to break their legs. Oh my gosh. I can't believe she is trimming the hoofs that way. That is incorrect. That's what happens with vets and farriers. So a lot of them do not like to be filmed because of that. So if you don't see my vet here, it doesn't mean that my vet doesn't come. But see what happens when you have an animal activist, when they come across a video where a cow looks deformed, she's going to battle for that animal. I really think that she thought she was right. She was going to battle. Just like any other person that comes and sees your Facebook page and you have this video, they see a 1-minute video, they don't see the big picture. They see, "Oh my gosh, her chicken's dead. Oh, she doesn't have a vet. She's just out here letting her animals die." It is so important for people to break things down before they react. And you know what? We, as backup dancers, need to learn from this because we're no different than they are. We react fast too. We see somebody's video, oh my god, like I can remember people getting mad at Lester for Lester's son, and people just automatically assume, oh, his son lays in the bed all day and does absolutely nothing. Y'all, come on. Let's break this down. Let's back up for just a minute. Let's break this down. Come on. Are those animals not being taken care of? Well, first of all, Jamie and Lester would never allow their animals not to be taken care of. I know them well enough and I watched enough videos to know that he is an animal fanatic. But see, people judge a creator and they automatically think I'll tell you what makes me laugh. This is what makes me laugh is when followers, including myself, because I am a follower of Lester or Jason and Brooke from Cog Hill Farm. I'm a follower. And when you watch their videos, people make assumptions that they know this person so well. And a lot of times, you backup dancers will say to me, you'll say, I don't know, Jason and Brooke this. And I'm thinking in my head, because I'm a little, I guess, closer because I know them personally. So, like, a lot of times assumptions are made by a video. Well, you have to remember, as someone that follows a farm or a creator, period, we show y'all don't know everything. Like, I mean, like, you see what's in that video. You don't see the big picture. Even when you follow somebody and watch every single video, like, there could be something going on in my life with, let's just say, Larry or Shane, that you don't know because I don't share it with y'all. Y'all just see what I show you. So a lot of times you make assumptions about what you think about the creator by what videos you watch. But you know how there's always more to the picture? I think I put on this bright lipstick. You know how, just like with y'all, like a creator has a behind the scenes life too. Of there's there's a lot that we're going through, and there's a lot you're going through that you maybe don't share with me, or you don't share with other people because it's private. And sometimes you see things on a video and you have no idea what that creator's going through. You see what I'm saying? And it's important for us not to react because we really don't know the whole picture. Because you're not at my house every day, or you're not at another creator's house every day, so you don't really know what's going on in that person's life. And that's why it's so important to pause and break things down and don't begin to be judgmental, because we really don't know what's going on in someone's life. You know what I'm saying? We really don't know the whole picture. And so many times I find myself judging, and oh, that was his oxygen machine. I thought Larry hit the ground. A lot of times I find myself, oh my gosh, it is 8:15. I have definitely went to church today. Y'all hear that machine? I hope today that you learned how dysregulation is, how your mind goes to dysregulation. And I hope that when your mind does that, that you're able to take a step back and break it down. Because in order to be the best version of you, we have to work on ourselves. We can't go, our husband is a total train wreck, or our wife is a total train wreck. We have to work on ourselves, because the better you get, the better they get. I promise you. If you quit trying to fix them and fix yourself, you'll be amazed how much better your marriage will be. Can't fix them, but you can fix you. All right. You have choices today. Today's Monday. You can sit it out or you can dance. Part of dancing is fixing you. Don't try to fix your spouse. Your spouse may not have the right words to say, I love you. But when you're smart enough to pause and break it down, Shane was telling me he loved me, but he was yelling at me to get off the phone. But what he was telling me was he was worried about our safety. And a lot of times when we don't break things down, we get stuck in, he's telling me to get off the phone. Like, we got to break it down, because what he was saying is, I love you and I'm scared we're going to get hurt. We got a mama out here that's about to have a baby, Judy. And he was telling me that he loved me. But if I didn't pause and break it down, I wouldn't have seen the blessing that I should have seen. So today, I hope you dance. I will see y'all this week. Bye.